There were giants in the earth in those days.
Before, let's go to 6 and 1.
6 and 1?
Yes.
Genesis 6 and 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
They took them wives of all that they chose. This is talking about the celestial. It's not talking about people on earth. The Catholic Church tried to cover the truth of the evil that came into the earth by claiming that this is the sons of Seth dealing or marrying the daughters of Cain. Well, that's a lie, because there was no law against that. There's no law against the sons of Seth dealing with the daughters of Cain. So they try to hide the fact that these were beings that came into the earth and caused chaos. These are the same gods the Catholic Church till this day burn candles to.
Oh.
The old gods before the flood are who the Catholics truly serve. They're not saints.
What the fuck?
They're spirits. The spirits that gives them ingenuity, technology, and insight on how to oppose God's people in the earth, or to oppress us, knowing that we were born to judge them. So there's two sides. Those who were born to go through the trials and be made like pure gold, to see things for what it is, that was taught before the flood by fallen gods, and they would actually take that side against us. I know this sounds like something out of some far sci-fi, but no, that's
sounds like something you pulled out the crack of your ass.
What it is, folks. So when we see the struggle that our people are going through, we cannot see it like this earth would like us to experience.
All right.
It's talking about a judgment on those who taught mankind evil. And through that evil, it led to all types of chaos to a degree where the Most High had to flood the earth. They began to make dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rexes. They began to make giant animals to feed the giants or Nephilim that came from the celestial and whom they would deem mortals.
That's good stuff.
I mean, this is not just a Bible narrative. You can find this in secular or other Gentile history. I mean, I need you to go now to Deuteronomy. Matter of fact, finish reading that. There were giants in the earth in that day. Yes, sir.
All right, Shalom. This is Har 1 by Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. When it's a Kal Halayim, Leyahawa, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Harakar Kodash, Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, and Akwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Try to make this quick, man. You might have to do this in a two-part. My battery going out. But, yeah, you heard it for yourself, man. This guy here, man. Few things that jumped out before they even brought the scripture out. In Genesis 6, dealing with the Nephilim, right, or the giants, what they would call. They were saying that they weren't men, they were spirits. Then he said that those spirits became demons today. Now, you know damn well that's what they used to teach us in church. You know, the Baptist church, Christian churches, in Christianity. You know, I never was really into their doctrine, but I have caught wind of that before. You know, caught ear of that before. No. That's one heresy that he brought in, bringing in damnable heresies. Another one is, so that's one saying that the Nephilim was spirits and not men. And then you have, and saying that the demons, they became demons. And then you have, what did he say? Oh shit! He said the Nephilim started creating dinosaurs, and that there was no law in place to stop the sons of God from dealing with the daughters of men, which would be the other nations. I want to start off with this one scripture first. All right, this is 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. It says, "Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh?" And this is being proven, man. These two guys here are unrighteous, especially according to their doctrine. All of our righteousness is as filthy rags when it comes to the law. We try our best. But as far as the doctrine and the spirit of truth, these guys are completely off. All right, the one on the right and the one on the left. So know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind. All right, so that's what we're dealing with here. We get another precept. Isaiah 8 and 20. It says, "To the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them." Right? And that's the reason this is happening. Okay, the Lord said, be not deceived, man. This is happening because there is no light in them. You see that light, the spirit of Yahweh is not dwelling in this guy or his followers. You know? So there's no truth in him. And he stated that, let me get this real quick. 2 Ezra chapter 3. I'm going to start from verse 5. All right? It's going to touch on certain topics. Because he stated that the Nephilim, which would be Nephilim, which means fallen ones. All right? And we fell from our graceful position. All right? We fell from being righteous in some sense. Okay? Our ruling class, we fell from that. And the scriptures speak about it. Because those were men. Matter of fact, Genesis 6 and 1. And it came to pass when men, not spirits, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them. So how spirits gonna have children? See that? Anyway, not trying to figure this guy out. Just want to bring out the scriptures. This is 2 Ezra 3 and 5. Now, actually verse 4. O Lord, who bears rule, right? Thou spakest at the beginning when thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest the people. Okay, that was Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh gave power to Yahweh Shai to create all things. Okay, so he was the spirit, and also the angels, were there to create the heavens and the earth. But then he planted man upon the earth, okay, in human flesh. All right. So now, because you can read John chapter 1, or in Colossians, and it tells you about how Yahweh Shai created everything. He was with the angels from the beginning, with the powers, and we were there too. All right. We were in spirits. We were spirits first, and then we became in the flesh. All right. And when we leave this flesh, we go into what? The spirit realm. So what he's talking about is saying that these Nephilim were spirits, which would be completely off. All right, they were men, human beings, but they became tyrants, just like today. And you had a small group of believers that followed the spirit of Yahweh. All right, that had faith, and that's what it was about at that time. The written law didn't need to be in place for the Most High to still be the same as He is yesterday and today. It's just we were off. We were wicked. Man changes, not the Most High. All right. So, matter of fact, let me get that. Let me see. It says here. All right. All right, bear with me. All right, it says Malachi 3 and 9. Ye are, most likely, 3 and 6. For I am Yahweh, I change not. See that? Therefore, ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. All right, so we rise upon this earth and we die upon this earth. Our spirit goes back to the Father. He sends it forward. So we change with the times, with the season. But the Most High is forever, and He changes not. So His ways have always been righteous. He never like mixing, you know, when it comes to His praise, you know, His acknowledgement. If He sees some people going off, He's gonna say you can't deal with them. Don't give your sons over to them for their daughters. You know, don't give your daughters over to their sons, because they're gonna cause your descendants to fall away from the Most High. That was the focus. All right. Now today, in these times, you know, the Most High changed it and made it into a written law with Moses. And He told us the certain lands we were going into, not to deal with certain people, because they would cause our children to serve other gods. That was according to the law. So the Most High changed not. And even today, you have the wicked amongst our people, the women and the men. The Lord saying don't deal with them, really. You know, the nations too, but you can deal with any woman you want. It's just about, are they going to cause your children to serve other gods? And that can happen with anybody now, with any type of woman. So He still changeth not. And in the kingdom, nobody's going to be able to praise any other, or any false gods, I should say. Okay? So the Most High didn't change. He kept it the same. A man can deal with any woman he wants. It's just at certain time periods and certain situations, He would say you can't deal with those people. All right? Because it would dishonor Him. Now, did the law need to be in place? Did it need to be written? No, it wasn't written yet. It was according to faith. It was according to people. That was considered their righteousness. Just like with Abraham. Just like with Adam. All right? Just like with Noah. He was considered righteous. Let me get that. That's right, man. So he was considered a just man. This is 2 Peter 2 and 5. It says, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the 8th person of his family, a preacher of righteousness. So he was preaching back then, just like we do today. And he was preaching righteousness. All right. So what was considered righteousness if there was no law in place. He was preaching the right way to serve the Most High. They were setting up altars. They were praying to the Lord. All right. A preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly. See that? So the Lord brought the flood in upon that age, in that time period of the wicked of that age. That was the first judgment. Now the first death. Now you have the second death. The second death is the fire. Same thing, man. Okay, so we were what? We fell again in 70 AD. All right. So the Lord was doing that to make his separations through time, man. From the beginning. We fell. Let's get that. So it's not dealing with spirits that became demons and all this hocus pocus spooky mess that this dude talking about. They spooked, man. Talking some damn, they the demons and popping his neck and shit, rolling his eyes. You're like, yeah, they were creating dinosaurs. Man, listen, man. I'm gonna get this real quick. All right. So he this dude giving honor to the damn to us, saying that we created all things. No, Yahweh created all things under Yahweh. All right, you can read that in the book of John. So he's saying the Nephilim were creating dinosaurs, when the scriptures clearly say that Yahweh created all the animals of the sea, the animals on the earth, the mammoth too, the elephant, and man. Now you got Esau trying to play God, manipulating what the Lord created, cross species, GMOs, so on and so on. And, with the, that's trying to create a new human being. Well, not a human at all. Colossians 1 and 16, just to get to the point. For by him, what? By Yahweh, by who? Yahweh for by him were all things created. So all things were created by Yahweh, okay? Not the Nephilim creating dinosaurs so they could eat them, so they could have food to eat. Eating the damn T-Rex, huh? All right. For by him were all things created that are in heaven and that are in earth. Okay. Visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. This is it, man. So Yahweh Bashem Yahweh created everything. All right. So let's get back to this. Okay. See, our wrestling is not against flesh and blood. It's about the spiritual battle. And this dude is a spirit. He's a demon. They're the demons right there, in the Gocc. 2 Ezra 3 and 5. Let's see what the scriptures say. All right. It says, I'm going to start from 4. O Lord, who bearest rule, thou spakest at the beginning, when thou didst plant the earth, that thyself alone, and commandest the people. See, he gave commandment to the people. He gave us commandment. We ain't had a written law, but he gave commandments to us. All right, just like he told Adam not to deal with certain people, not to listen to their philosophy and their false doctrine back then with the serpent in the garden. All right, the same thing with Noah and what you would call the Nephilim, which would mean the fallen ones. Okay, that fell away from the commands, and they didn't have to be written. So it says, "What? And commandest the people." So it was people. All right, that's why he said, "Man, male and female created he them." Okay, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. So he gave Adam the spirit of understanding at that time, man. In that age, he had understanding for that age, okay? For that time period, just like we have understanding for this time period. One second, I'm gonna get this too. All right. Here you go. It says here. Wow. Wisdom of Solomon 7. That's right. And 27. Now I start from here because it say breathe life into it, right? Gave Adam the breath. It says, for wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness, even through time. For she is the breath of the power of Yahweh. See, the breath of the Most High. So that's what he got, the breath. And what happened to Adam? He was what? He was given a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore, can no defiled thing fall into her. So the other nations, the people at that time were defiled. All right, but the Lord made Adam upright. Even though they're called Adamites, which means people from the ground. Okay, but it was one specific individual in his family that the Lord chose, just like us today. You got the people of Adam, meaning the nations. And the Lord chose one nation out of all those people, which is who? Israel. Okay? He's giving them wisdom. Only the elect first. So that's a pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no defiled thing fall into her, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light. See, if nobody had that light, this light in them, they don't have wisdom. And you can judge them according to the scriptures. These guys here, man, that they're going off. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of Yahweh, and the image of his goodness, a reflection. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaineth in herself. She maketh all things new, and in all ages, even back during that time, during that world, that age, during the time of Adam. So in all ages, she entering into holy souls. I mean, the word holy means to be set apart. So the Lord set apart Adam for himself and gave him wisdom. She maketh friends, see, and entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets. All right, just like Noah. For Yahweh loveth none but him that dwelleth with wisdom. Okay? So Adam was given that wisdom. That's what set him apart from these other people. Okay? That fell, which, and these nations. Where was that? I'm stuck with 3. Okay, so now, 2nd Ezra 3 and 5. And gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thy hand, and didst breathe into him the breath of life. What's that? The breath of life is wisdom. And he was made living before thee, a friend of the Most High, all right, of Yahweh Shema Shah, a son of Yahweh and a friend of Yahweh Shah. And thou leadest him into paradise. So Yahweh Shah led us into paradise, right, through the power of Yahweh. Just like the scriptures say that Adam was taken into the garden that was put in Eden, all right, that was placed in Eden, that was placed in the earth took him to the area of where Abraham and it was buried at. So it says this, and thou leddest him into the paradise which thy right hand hath planted, spiritually, spiritual power, all right, on the righteous side for Adam. Before ever the earth came forward, man, and unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way. So it didn't need the law to be written. It didn't need to be written, so there were commands. He was telling Adam, don't deal with these people over here. Don't eat from these trees, their philosophies. Don't deal with them. The same thing he said to Noah and the sons of men. The sons of, it's like the sons of God. He said the same thing. That law, the command was in place for the sons of God to not deal with these other nations at the time, because it would cause descendants to go off and become tyrants and become wicked. All right, so they broke the commands of the Lord. This was before the law. This was before the law was written. So the Most High said, "What? I changed not." He didn't change. He said, "We changed. We learning." And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way. So he had the commands before the law was written, which he transgressed. So the same thing with the sons of God, which was us. We transgressed, all right? Which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death in him and in his generations. Other than that, we would have been immortal, okay? But we had to be born from the heavens. And that would mean we can keep the laws perfect in these bodies, and it's impossible, man. Well, it's not impossible. The Lord can make it happen, but we are unclean in this flesh. All right, we have to be born from the heavens to keep perfectly the heavenly law. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way. So that's a cut on this dude. He said there was no commandments in place. So why did the Lord give us the 10 commandments or the 613 commandments? A lot of the holy days happened, matching up with our deliverance, dwelling in booths, Passover, when the Lord passed over us, it's commemoration of those times and memorials. But as far as the laws and commands, the Most High didn't change. He said circumcised, it's better for a child to be circumcised. He taught that to Abraham. I'm pretty sure he had Noah and them not eating pork and not worshiping idols and such. All right, they were righteous, man. Didn't even have the laws in place yet. But the Lord said the laws were going to be our wisdom in the sight of the nations. All right, for a whole nation to keep the law, yeah. And to have curses in place for it. If you break the law, this is the curse for it. So that was our schoolmaster. Unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointest death in him and in his generations, and of whom came nations, tribes, peoples, and kindreds out of number. So we all started coming from Adam. All right, till you get to Noah, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, of whom the Lord started everything over with after the flood. And every people, see, there's still people on the earth, and every people, not no spirits, it was people, and they walked after their own will. So what are they doing today? Walking after their own will. Isn't that the pagan belief, or their mindset to do as thou wilt? So they walked after their own will, becoming tyrants, fallen ones, which was us. We fell. All right. I'm going to get 2 scriptures on this lesson right here. And we'll do another one in a minute. Yahweh Ratazah. All right, so every people walked after their own will, man. So this guy saying that the law wasn't in place. It was a commandment in place. The Most High didn't change. When he said don't deal with these other nations, certain nations at the time or whatever age, he'd say don't deal with these people because they're gonna cause your children to follow false gods and they're gonna cause them to be wicked. All right, and that's why he said don't go into those sons of men, the sons of God. Don't go into the daughters of men, meaning the nations. All right, and it says here, and every people walked after their own will and did wonderful things before thee and despised thy commandments. So that they became tyrants, the Nephilim, Napoleon, the fallen ones. All right, they despised it, despised the commandments. That's why we pray for the Lord to forgive us today. You know, because we were wicked. That was us. You know, it was our people, but we could have been one of the ones that was separated to the Lord. You never know. And people walked after their own will and did wonderful things before the Lord, before thee, and despised thy commandments. And this guy said there were no commandments. There were no laws against. That was the command. It started off right here. You know, the Lord said in Genesis 6. It says, Genesis 6:2. No, 1. And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, right, who today are called Israelites, saw the daughters of men, meaning the other nations, women, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. All right. So I'm going to go down to verse 5, man. I'm going to bounce around a lot instead of just reading it straight through. And Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth. See, not no damn spirits. All right. The wickedness of man was great in the earth. No new thing under the sun. So what is this guy talking? Who is this guy, man? Why nobody, why is congregation not calling him out? Why? Because most of them are what? Women and fools. You see the congregation, a lot of women. And the scripture says, just like Apostle Hart brought out, these are such that creep in the house and leave captive silly women, laden with sins. All right. And so now it says here, and Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So it was just confusion upon the earth. All right, so the Lord made a separation. He established Israel and gave Israel laws and put them in place. But now we're scattered again. So now let's get this real quick. It says, 2 Ezra 3:7. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way. So the commands were in place. It's just we didn't have the laws written yet. But the Most High was still the same. All right, just like a lot of people say we didn't have the Sabbath, we didn't have the new moon, none of that when we came out of Egypt. That don't matter. We just didn't know about it. Everything was the same. The new moon existed. The Sabbath existed. We just didn't know about it. The Lord told us, he said, this is going to be the first day unto you. That's it. The Most High didn't change. Everything was still the same from his view. And every people walked after their own will and did wonderful things before thee and despised thy commandments. And again, in process of time, thou broughtest the flood upon those that dwelled in the world and destroyest them. All right, so he didn't destroy a spirit. This guy here saying it was spirits. See, he just don't know the scriptures, man. This is what you call a false prophet. This guy here, man. Gocc. And again, in process of time, which means it came to pass, that thou broughtest a flood upon those that dwell in the world and destroyest them. All right. And it came to pass in every of them that as death was to Adam, so was the flood to these. All right. So yeah, man. Nevertheless, one of them thou left, namely Noah, with his household, of whom came all righteous men. How did all righteous men come from Noah? If he had Ham, Shem, and Japheth. And the Lord said, through Noah, he said, cursed be Ham and Canaan, right? What's that? Them Africans. And then you have Japheth, which were the Hawaiians and Samoans. And also through Shem, the name, or his Shem, you have Jacob and Esau as well. You have Esau. So how did righteous men come from Noah? Through Jacob. All right. They said, from Adam come we all, and the people whom thou hast chosen, which are Israelites. All right. And it happened that when they that dwelt upon the earth began to multiply and had gotten them many children, see, they started sleeping with other, the nations, and were a great people, they began again to be more ungodly than the first. So this was after the flood. The flood was around 5,000 BC, around that time, approximately. So before the flood, these people were ungodly, and then after the flood, were our people ungodly, right? Became wicked, following after other nations and the imaginations of their own heart. They began again to be more ungodly than the first. You understand? So for this guy to say that they were spirits and that they became demons, no, you know what I mean? This is about a judgment upon the flesh. The Lord said, fear not him that can destroy the body, but fear him that can destroy the body and soul right here upon this earth. All right. Now when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them whose name was Abraham. So the Lord separated again Abraham, just like he separated Noah, just like he separated Adam from among men, people. So what the hell is this dude talking about? The Nephilim were spirits that were creating dinosaurs to eat them. And when that would be unclean. All right, so yeah, man. I might at the end of the day, I'm going to do another lesson in a minute, charge my battery up.